In this video, I'll walk you through the steps to get your computer ready so that we can get started writing Verilog code and implementing it on the FPGA. So it's two parts. The first, I'm just going to walk you through the different installation features or specifications that we need from Xilinx. And the second part would be how to install some support files for the FPGA board we are currently using. So I'm here on the Xilinx main webpage. All you have to do is just go to products, and for this course we're just going to go to hardware development. In other courses sometimes I go to software development. In both cases you'll end up almost in the same place during the download period, and I'll show you that in a minute. So we go to hardware development, and then I'll go to Vivado design suite. That's the CAD tool we're using in this course because we're using the Xilinx or a Xilinx based FPGA board. So you go in here and it gives you an overview of that Vivado design suite and the different features, and if you want some documentations, and there are different documentations and some of them are quite long, and I write like every now and then I'll go back to one of these documentations to find something about Vivado, like a bug or some features that I'm interested in or something like that. I'll just go there. Anyway, you're going here, it says features/buy. I don't want you to buy anything for this course. The free version of Vivado will be enough, and that free version is called Webpacks. You can take a look at this table here to see the differences between the different versions. The Webpack is what we're interested in because it's a free version and it will work just fine. So I'm going here to download Vivado. So I'm going to click on download Vivado. Usually it'll show you this particular interface, and this interface depends on when you actually log in or use, or the time you log into this page or get to it. At the time of the recording, it's showing me that 2020.2 is the latest version. I've used older versions before. If for some reason or another you got some code that runs on an older version, you can go to Vivado's archive and you can download any version you want and just run it. I'll just go ahead and go to the 2020. But before I continue, I just want to show you that we are currently at the Vivado hardware developer. If you went to that product and you clicked software, you would have ended up and clicked the download, you would have ended up with the Vitas. Vitas is the different types of suite that include Vivado as part of it as well. Anyway, in both cases, you'll end up here and you'll have different installation options. One of them is the Xilinx Unified Installer. So I'm going to go back to the hardware versions just to show you. See, so the unified installer will give you different options, and based on these options it will install whatever you select, and it's the smallest up front. It's the smallest file size. It's about 250 megabyte. But if you have a smaller internet or you install Vivado or the setup is on different computers, you might just want to go with this one here, which is like just you download it one time and then you install it on different computers, so you don't have to download it several times on different computers. But anyway, so I'm going to go in here. I'll click on the Xilinx Unified Installer. So it'll install it. It will just show me a page to log in. I'm already logged into my Xilinx page. And once you log in, you'll be faced with this particular form so that you can actually give them some information before you download anything. Okay, so you scroll down in here and you click download, and it will download the executable setup file. Then you click on it and it just runs, and you go through the different steps, which I'm gonna just show you briefly. Okay, so at this point I can see the Xilinx Unified Xilinx installer, and it'll take some time to get started. The setup wizard will take some time to get started. And frankly speaking, the whole process might take some time, so be prepared to spend an hour or maybe 2 hours. You don't necessarily have to be next to the computer while it's doing it, but it'll take some time. So I went ahead and I actually installed it on my computer already, and I tried to record it while doing it, but for some reason it wasn't recording properly, so this is why I'm repeating it. So I'm just going to go through the steps I went to install it on my computer, as you can see here, without actually doing the installation. Okay, so after waiting for some time, I'm faced with this welcome message. You can read it. It tells you which operating system it uses. I'm currently installing it on Windows 10. So you click next. And again, you're going to have to log in using the same username and password for Xilinx. I'm just going to go ahead and type these here and then click next here. And then I'm faced with all sorts of options, which products you want to install. In this course, Vivado would be enough. I have went ahead and went with Vitas because I use it personally and I use it in different courses as well. Of course, there are other options in here, but for now, like if you want, you can restrict yourself to Vivado. So you click Vivado and you click next. And in Vivado, you will be faced with which edition to choose. Choose the Webpack because this is the free version. The design, you might have like some licenses for a certain period of time, like the trial licenses. But anyway, I don't want you to bother with licenses. Just go ahead with the Webpack, and then you click next. And then in here, you will be faced with like some options, which options you want. Frankly speaking, you can the ones we care about for the Nexus A7 is actually the RTX 7 because this is the FPGA family or the chip. The FPGA chip we're using belongs to this particular family. So these are the files that we really care about. The other ones, the Kinetics or the Spartan, we're not using any of these. You can install them; they're not too big, but if you want, you can uncheck that one here, and then you click next, and it tells you like you're gonna have to agree to all the terms and conditions. And then you click next and it tells you where you want to install it, the destination directory. I recommend that you use a destination directory with a path that doesn't have any spaces. Whether you're on Windows or Linux, just make sure that you don't have any spaces. Currently I'm getting this error message and I'm not like allowed to click next because I already have Vivado installed, so it's not letting me do that one more time. Okay. If you went ahead and did the Vitis options, I'm just gonna do this here. For example, instead of Vivado, you went to the Vitis like I did. You're gonna be faced with slightly different options. So in here, you will see that we have now Vitis, Vivado, and Vitis HLS. That Vitis was not available before. Anyway, I'm just gonna keep that in there, and I'm just gonna click next, and then agree, and agree, and agree, and you go in here, and it's showing me the same exact message. Once you clear this up and you click next, it'll download everything that it needs, and it's quite large. It's about 34 gigabyte or so. So it's going to take some time, and then it goes through the installation steps and install some drivers. And then you move on to installing the support files, which I'm going to go through next. Now that we're done and we installed Vivado on our system, what we need to do is to make our life a little bit easier, we're going to install something we call Vivado board files. And these files are very specific to Digilent FPGA boards. Digilent is the company that made the Nexus A7 we're using in this course. So we're just going to add some files that they provided for us to make our life a little bit easier. You can go to their GitHub and see the different files and the different repositories that they provide. But the ones relevant to us to set up the system is the Vivado board repository. You go in here and you'll see that there are different instructions, and specifically it's telling me that the installation instruction for the one that I'm about to follow is actually mentioned here in section 3 if you prefer to read it as opposed to following me. And they're pretty straightforward, so I'm just going to walk you through them. So the first thing we need to do is we're just going to go in here and we're going to say download the archive or the whole repository. So it's been downloaded, so I'm going to just archive it. I think I have to do that, and then here, and I'm going to just say extract all. So I'm going to extract it in its location, and it should be quick because there isn't a lot of files. Well, I mean, the file, it's not too bad or not too big. So we're going to go in here. There's new, old utility. What we really care about is new. Old is for older versions of Vivado, as the instruction says here, which is 2014. We're in the 2020 version. So we're going to go to new. We're going to go to board files, and I'm just going to go. You don't have to copy all of them. What we really need is I have the Nexus 4 DDR, which is the same as the A7-100T, and some of you might have the 50T. But anyway, I mean, there isn't a lot of them. I usually just go, just in case you buy a different board from Digilent, I'll just go and copy all of them, and my system will be ready to do this. So I'm just going to go and select all and then copy it. And then what I need to do is I need to go to my computer in here. I'm going to go to this PC, and I'm going to go in here. And now I'm in the C. I go to Xilinx. This is where I installed my Vivado and everything. Remember, it's like there are no spaces in that path. And then I'm going to go to Vivado. You might have Vitis or you might not. I do have it because I installed it. So I'm going to go Vivado in here. And then the version that I installed is 2020.2. Every version you install will have different path in here. Okay, so I'm going to just go double click in here. And then in here I have data. So if I click on data, you'll go and I have another directory, and that directory is called boards, and I think board files is where we have to go. And you can double check all these instructions that are actually here, and you will see even it also contains instructions if you are on Linux and you prefer to do this on Linux. This is /opt in Xilinx and Linux. Okay, so we're gonna go there, and I believe all we have to do is just do this here and just paste all these files that we did. I'm trying to paste it, so I pasted everything, and now we are ready to start writing Vivado code and implementing it on the Nexus A7 board that we have.